It's a great time to be involved in doTERRA. Essential oils have become a household name and a model of use for many households throughout the world. doTERRA, in fact, has been credited with creating an entire industry revolving around health and wellness and the usage of essential oils. What a wonderful opportunity that has been, but it has created some notable challenges. One of the challenges we now face in essential oils is the commoditization of essential oils. You can buy essential oils almost anywhere. There is a difference between the oils that you purchase with doTERRA and the oils that you can purchase outside of doTERRA. I want you to think for a moment of some of what you know about sourcing essential oils. I would also ask you to think about the quality of essential oils. doTERRA has worked hard and been diligent in our efforts to provide the highest quality essential oils available anywhere in the world, which comes directly through our sourcing model. There's difficulty in sourcing essential oils, and with the pressing need now that has developed for the commercialization of essential oils and the growing demand, it's more important for us now than any other time to be focused and to be clear in our directives. Think for a moment about the challenges that come from sourcing and how doTERRA has solved those by working directly with growers and farmers throughout the world, by forming cooperative relationships. Right now, nearly 85% of all of the oils that we have in doTERRA are exclusive to doTERRA and not available anywhere else. That means the quality that we see in doTERRA is also exclusive to doTERRA. It's simply not possible to source essential oils the way that we do and sell them for less than $5 in a commercialized store. When you're making a choice for using essential oils, think about quality and the results that you've come to expect for you and your family. For those reasons, choose doTERRA. Using essential oils on a daily basis makes really good sense. In terms of our health, we're either dealing with a model of prevention or sometimes we need to support ourselves in individual needs. So using the essential oils daily is one of the best things that we can do. Another great consideration is the idea that variety is a key principle of health. This means that not only can we use essential oils with great frequency, but we can really tailor and use the essential oils to meet our individual needs. One of the great advantages of essential oils is that we have this opportunity to share them with other individuals, but sometimes that's not as easy as what we might think it would be. So I usually consider two things when I'm sharing the essential oils. First is that nothing really replaces an individual experience. I think it's great anytime we give someone the opportunity to use and experience the essential oils for themselves. That can be as simple as just letting them smell the aroma, for example. Another way to give people individual experience is to share your own personal experience with them about the essential oils. Individual knowledge is a key factor. It's difficult to share the value and benefits of something that we ourselves have not experienced fully. Learn everything that you can about the essential oils, and one of the best ways to learn, of course, is to use them. But then there's a knowledge base that perhaps we should try to enhance as well. So whether we're learning in books or we're sharing our experience and others are sharing their experience with us, these are all great ways that we can help individuals understand all of the benefits that essential oils have to offer. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this tip and you found it to be helpful, please click on the subscribe button for additional tips and so much more. doTERRA, as you know, right from the very beginning, and one of the things that we certainly have had lots of discussions about in various capacities as it pertains to each of you and as it pertains to medicine as a whole, is the positioning of essential oils within medicine. doTERRA has worked very hard to not only align themselves with a mainstream view of essential oils, but in an appropriate view and adaptation model for how essential oils should be used. So, Dr. Winterton, maybe we can begin with you if that's okay. And if you would, give us your view on essential oils and the application that we currently see within westernized medicine.
As the last decade or 15 years has progressed, we've seen a dramatic interest expressed by our colleagues within the world of Western medicine, particularly manifest in the literature. And what's even more exciting is it's not just one or two parts of Western medicine. We've seen research move aggressively toward looking at all different parts of the human condition. And it's a remarkable thing. I think it's unprecedented. And so what was 15, 20 years ago a philosophical approach to essential oils, yeah, do you believe in essential oils? It's beyond that now, where we have not only a lot of good bench research with mammal studies and behavioral studies, we now have, within the last decade, a significant number, hundreds of randomized prospective double-blind studies. I know there might be some out there, and I agree, that just because we now have a decade of hardcore science, that all of a sudden it's all legitimate now, and before that it wasn't, or now that there's credibility to that. We've known about the value of essential oils over the millennia, over centuries, and we're just lucky enough now to be part of world history that is changing this future of integration of essential oils in the history of Western medicine.
How are essential oils affecting the world of medicine? Maybe how you're using them in your individual practice models, but more importantly, where do you think westernized medicine is going to in the future, and what role do things like essential oils play in that model?
So I think that this is an exciting time for us in medicine. I think all of us here, if I could speak for all of us for a moment, we all went into medicine because we love interacting with patients. We love helping people. And what's exciting is there's 12,000 other people here that are here for the same reason. You all enjoy that, being able to assist people in their lives, particularly at times in which it may be a challenge for them. The exciting part about being involved with essential oils and medicine is that I have more things to offer patients. The prime example happened to me just last week with a patient that came to my office that was very anxious, having significant problems with anxiety. And when we started talking about traditional medicine, which is where my training is, she was quite anxious about the side effects of the pill to help take care of her anxiety, and became more anxious about that than perhaps she came in the door. And I said, well, there are some other things that I can offer you. Let me tell you a little bit about some of these oils that I've been using that are helpful. And she became very excited about this and came away from the office feeling like she had been treated for what she needed, not for what I needed to give her. She was excited about being served in other ways other than just the allopathic medicine.
Well, I think that the way that medicine is progressing is quite remarkable. There's a great deal of new technology which I have found to be useful from an aromatherapy research standpoint. I'm fascinated by evidence-based aromatherapy, and to see things that I use in the operating room, like a EEG to monitor a wakefulness state or a sleepfulness state, used in an aromatherapy study to show how someone has better heart circulation or better, less anxiety, better blood pressure, better heart rate, their vital signs are improved. This impresses me as an anesthesiologist, to see modern technology used to prove the benefits of aromatherapy. I think we're going to see more of that, and then see more and more buy-in from professionals as they see the realization that, yes, there is evidence-based aromatherapy, and that we can justify and validate the experience that all of you experience as you treat people within your sphere of influence. See, I use oils in my family and my personal life. When I was first introduced to it, I had to become convinced. So I experimented on myself with the oils, various ones. And when I was convinced, I passed it along. And then over time, I became as passionate as you are about it.
In my specialty, it's very, very subspecialized, and people who come to me, they've typically seen many doctors already. And if all I have to offer them is a specific surgery or a medication, oftentimes they go away very disappointed. So I agree, like Dr. Riggs said, the essential oils, natural medicine, it's another option that we can offer our patients. And what our patients really want from us is they want validation. They want education. They want us to assure them that they're going to be okay. And I think the essential oils really helps me as a physician to empower those patients to be able to take care of themselves so they don't have to come see me as often or as soon.
I think the oils are very powerful, and they can complement and in some cases replace, but not in all cases replace. And we have to be very responsible for that.
I think one of the most important parts about doTERRA, in my opinion, is the fact that it empowers every single person to go out, to learn what they can that's best for their own home. If we don't become masters within our home and better our own healthcare, our healthcare system is not set up to take care of us anymore. We're trying, we're all doing our best, but at the end of the day, it's just not. And so if we don't step up to the plate and become more powerful within our own homes, we're going to fail. And so...
Thank you. You're not unlike any of us in that we're using the essential oils because we find value and we find opportunities to do things differently for ourselves. In your own home, where do you draw that line? Where is that boundary?
That's an excellent question. So there's two parts to that, I believe. Number one, if we take out the practice model and we try not to be hypocritical in what we say to our family members versus our patients, that's a very important line. If we look at a patient and say, well, I would suggest you try the following, and it has nothing to do with some of the alternative-based models that we're discussing here, then I think we've completely lied to ourselves and to our patients. We need to follow the same protocol I would at my house, which is if my son comes to see me, I've given him an opportunity to choose for himself a simple solution of a doTERRA-based application. I should offer the same thing within my practice, which we do. I think it comes down to our integrity of what we're trying to tell our patients, our family members. There shouldn't be much of a disparity.
So how would you work with a patient then? And I think we probably all have this question. I know I received this question a great deal, that Dr. Hill, I'm doing these kinds of things, and I went to see my doctor, and my doctor told me that this isn't what I should do, that I shouldn't be using On Guard. I should do instead some other things that he has recommended. How do you respond to that type of a circumstance?
Over the last several years, the American Academy of Family Practice, which I'm a member of, has really tried to emphasize this idea of a medical home and a medical team, meaning that medicine is taking a transition from being a very paternalistic sort of environment in which the patient comes to you and you play the part of dad and you say, this is what you're going to do, and if you don't, I'm not going to see you anymore, to now taking the part of, I am part of the team, and the patient is the head of the team, and I have nurses, and I have physical therapists, and I have other people that help me build that team to care for this particular patient. And as physicians start to take this a little bit more to heart, I think and I hope that we find that they'll be open to what the leader of the team wants. And so to express your wishes of, okay, what else is there, doctor? Can you tell me, is there something else? Because as a patient walks into my office, my first assumption is they're here for care and they're here for my training in medicine, not my training in oils. When a patient tells me, I'm interested in alternative medicine and here's what my issues are, can you help me with that? Then I have a little bit more of an open conversation that I can then say, great, let's talk about what else there is besides the training that I received in medical school.
Wonderful. Dr. Geiger.
I had a recent experience going to a very large meeting of executives for a healthcare system. And we were asked as physicians, how can we increase patient satisfaction? And I asked the doctors all to be open-minded about complementary alternative care, because more and more of you are asking for it, asking for recommendations, asking, can I do this? And unfortunately, too many doctors are uneducated and just say no because they don't know. And that's a problem. but you have the power to request things. Doctors who are open-minded should empower you to use what you feel is safe, because you have a great education yourselves, a great awareness of your own bodies, and you have the right to take care of yourselves and express what you would like to have.
Thank you.
This is a fairly foreign concept to some of them. You have patients that come in and they want to be told by a doctor what to do. And I think those days are rapidly leaving the realm of Western medicine. We have to understand as physicians and also as patients of physicians that you've got to empower yourselves, and it's our responsibility of physicians to educate patients how they can do that. Spend more time talking about diet. As time has gone by, it's been a wonderful thing to see people come in 3 months after you've seen them as a specialist and say, look what I've accomplished with my life. I'm getting better sleep because of those essential oils that you provided. I'm feeling less nausea, less motion sickness. Those are the things we like to hear as physicians.
Thank you, Paul. So how should an individual educate themselves? What would be a great resource or a track for them to follow for the individual who wants to know more about the scientific information, for an individual who would like to know more about a specific condition that maybe they have, or to educate themselves in this process of a partnership with their physician in their care? What would be a good track for them to follow in your estimation?
Well, I think most people are going to turn to their computer, which is both a blessing and a curse, because the internet doesn't have an editor, so there's no quality control on that material. So although that's the place I go first when I'm looking for new information, and there's a wealth of information there, you need to consider the source from which the particular information is coming, the sites. Certainly, I would direct people towards recognized sites like the National Library of Medicine or PubMed. There are many, many other sites that you can find that are both general in medical content, or that you can search specifically a particular condition, or you can even search specifically for essential oils or their chemical compounds. And that's probably a very good place to start. But you just don't spend a couple hours learning these things and then say, oh, I've learned what I need to know and I need to move on. This is a continual process. For all of us up here as physicians, we're continually learning. In the last 2 days, we've been learning from each other what we're doing in our practices, and we've been enthused, and we're going to go back home and we're going to get books and we're going to look into more things. And so this is a process, not a destination.
Very good, very good. So did you have a comment, Dr. Storia?
And to add on to that too, I know that I'm hoping that everyone here has used the Aromatic Science website. I mean, I can only assume you should. If you haven't, you really should, and here's why. A site such as Aromatic Science has done a very good job at one thing. It goes out and culls information that may be hard to understand. Some of the articles that are put in there, frankly, don't deserve to have been placed into a site such as that, so they're not put in there. It makes your job easier.
Educate yourself. Eat up what information is available. The literature is expanding. The hockey stick is just going through the roof. And it's the onus lies with you to educate your physicians, should they need a little bit of reminder that they need a continuing medical education. We call it CME of essential oils. So good luck with that.
Thank you, Dr. Winterton. That's a perfect way to end. In closing, can we please give them a round of applause and tell them how much we appreciate their efforts? I would also like to suggest that they are not alone. We have several physicians who are here in the audience, and we would like to recognize them and their efforts as well. Thank you for allowing us to be with you.